Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us again for a webinar on Zoho Remotely for remote training using Showtime. My name is John Wilfred and my colleague Anjana Mahesh is along with me and we will be your hosts for today. For those of you who missed our previous webinar on getting started with Zoho Remotely and Zoho Assist, the recording can be found on our website. We will share the link with you. In this session, we will have a quick recap of Zoho Remotely and then move on to Zoho Showtime and its features that will help you with remote training. If you have any questions during the presentation, please type them in the chat box you see on your screen and we will answer them. Also, please note that this webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared with you shortly. Without further ado, let me dive into the session. Rome wasn't built in a day, but Zoho Remotely, a suite of applications that helps communicate, collaborate, and provide remote support and access, was put together in less than a week, while over 90% of our workforce work from their homes at remote locations across the globe. At Zoho, we value your privacy. We never have and will never own your data. Your data is safe on our servers. We do not sell your data to third parties. We never do advertisements, even in a free version of products. Zoho Remotely is a suite of 10 carefully crafted applications which fall under 4 categories: communication, collaboration, remote assistance, and productivity. Click, Meeting, and Showtime are categorized as communication tools. In one of our previous webinars, we have already discussed Zoho Click and Zoho Meeting. The recorded version is available on our website. Furthermore, work drive, projects, and sprints can help with effective collaboration, whereas Assist is the remote support and access tool. Zoho Writer, the powerful word processor, Sheet to create and manage spreadsheets, and Show for creating presentations are listed as productivity tools. This is the admin panel of Zoho Remotely. Admin panel will serve as the central console that has some of the must-needed settings which will help you bring order to the remote environment. Basic organization information can be managed using the console, but it's not just that. Adding or deleting an application, user, and groups and assigning them to each other can happen through the central panel. Now let's start with Zoho Showtime. An amicable presentation becomes a fundamental catalyst to communicate the intended messages effectively. Zoho Showtime is a comprehensive platform to manage and run your training solutions even while teams are stationed at remote locations. This presentation tool can be functional for product pitches, employee onboarding, and training process or to host company town halls. It is available in both web and mobile-friendly versions. Okay, so we call it a comprehensive platform, we call it a presentation tool and whatnot. But who are its beneficiaries? For sales and marketing teams, so how can it help them? It can for delivering highly interactive presentations to customers. If the product or service is complex and requires a good deal of explanation, the same can be delivered visually, making it simpler for customers to understand. Furthermore, technical or intangible concepts or solutions can be deconstructed and explained for effective adoption. And then Showtime is beneficial for HR departments and training agencies as well. Employee onboarding and training process can be conducted remotely. And if you run a training agency, you can host training programs and charge your customers for those training sessions. This tool lets you manage multiple trainers and sessions. For independent trainers, you can host interactive sessions by engaging participants through polls and Q&A sessions. Here comes the most important service that can benefit, especially in this current situation: schools and colleges. Students can sign into the session from any part of the globe teachers and professors will be the trainers here, providing full-on classroom experience while sitting at their home. We are now going to have a look at the product-specific features. But before that, I hope by now you will have some understanding over what Zoho Showtime is and its intended purposes are. If you have any questions, please post them on the chat box you see on your screen. Let us now have a quick overview of how it works, starting with registrations. There are two modes of registration in Zoho Showtime, through which trainees or participants can register and attend the scheduled session: individual registration and single registration. You can create individual registration for each occurrences. This would allow your participants or trainees to register separate for each recurring session. For instance, in the example that you see here on the screen, your participants can choose to register for the session on 8th, 10th, and 12th. If you choose individual registration, your registrants will be able to choose their preferred date of registration from the list of scheduled session, as I was telling. You'll be able to choose to show the entire list of upcoming sessions or specify only a limited number of recurrences in case of individual registration. If you want your learners to register for all occurrences at once and attend all the training sessions, opt for single registration. This option is available under the session console, and you'll have to choose the registration tab. Under single registration, as you can see on the screen, your participants or trainees will be able to view the complete list of sessions all at once, and they can register for all these sessions with just a click. For instance, let's consider certain certification courses such as a Six Sigma, wherein all courses are mandatory. In such cases, you can opt for single registration. I'm pretty sure most of us would have experienced this during our school or college days, where teachers or professors would walk in with notes, hand them over to us so that we grasp the concepts better. Session materials are nothing but those materials that are used for any given session, such as a presentation slide deck or videos used in that session that can be passed on to the participants or trainees post-session. You can also train your audiences using recorded video sessions that can be replayed anytime. You can start a session either by uploading a video file, or you could choose one from the library. Once you create a session, you can select video files to showcase during your on-demand training. You will be able to increase learners' content retention by sharing handouts during your training session. You can choose to hand out PDFs, reference links, infographics, and whatnot during a live session. Promotion is the key to delivering impactful online training sessions, which have the power to influence and inspire people around the globe. Better your promotions are, better are your participants. Identify and target the right audience. The Promote tab lets you create unique registration links to track which promotion works best. Simply embed the system-generated code on your website or blog. So this is how you track the registration source. This is just a test source. Setting reminders might sound trivial. However, trust me, this is one of the most important part of any online session, especially when you have a huge audience. I'm pretty sure most of you today who have joined us on this webinar would have missed it if you did not receive the 15-minute reminder. All you got to do is click on the session console, go to the settings tab, and select email reminders. Under email reminders, you will be able to select the type of notifications you would want to send to your participants. You'll be able to send reminders before an hour, or a day before, or even at the beginning of the session. Reminder emails can be sent only for sessions that are scheduled and not launched immediately. You can set customized surveys for evaluation and feedback that are sent to participants soon after the session ends. As a trainer, assessments help you gauge the trainee's attitude, awareness, and their reaction towards a training. Qualitative evaluation ensures that your online trainings are learner-centric, trainer-directed, mutually beneficial, and context-specific. This evaluation not only helps the trainer understand his audience, but also helps him improve his skills as a trainer. This is the best way to determine the value of specific training tools effectively. Click on Settings under the Session console and select Evaluate. The results can be viewed within the Analytics tab, which will be discussed later in the session. The motivational benefits of certification will help learners keep track of their own progress and development goals. Zoho Showtime makes it easy to import and customize certificates, which can be awarded to attendees once they complete the training. Click on Settings within the Session console, then click on Create Certificate. You can create customized certificates. Once your trainees complete their course, followed by the evaluation, you can issue these certificates to them. This can be saved and printed, helping them progress through the training sessions with a sense of achievement. Unless the training sessions are for your own employees or maybe a marketing or a sales presentation to client, most training sessions are paid. Special paid training programs for customers or businesses that rely on coaching and training will have the need to collect payments. Set up payment gateways and tickets. Now, trainees can register by paying the set amount. Zoho Showtime also enables refunds to those who failed to attend the sessions, provided they meet the refund policies, which can be customized by you. These are some of Zoho's supported payment gateways. For India, we support EasyPay, Paytm, Razorpay, and Paypal. And for rest of the globe, we support Stripe, VPay, Forte, Authorize.net, ToCheckout, and WorldPay. Zoho Showtime is supported by Firefox and Chrome browsers. If the trainee is using a different browser, he or she will be directed to install a Showtime viewer on his or her computer. So this is the message that the trainee or participant will see when they use a different browser other than a Firefox or a Chrome. That's it from me. Let me hand over the remainder of the session to Anjana. Anjana, over to you.
Perfect. So let me begin. Again, I want to thank John for giving us an overview of Zoho Remotely and Zoho Showtime. Now let's jump into a few quick tips on how to run a training with Showtime. So during your training, planning logistics well ahead is a very important area to pay attention. So here are some logistic tips for training remotely that will set you up to deliver a successful presentation. So before you start your training, please ensure you are a bit early before the session begins. Mute all your notifications on your phone, computer, or any electronic devices near your area. Ensure you add a slide up to inform that your session will begin shortly. And please make sure your children are in a soundproof layer and set rules while you're presenting to your audience. So, what do you see as a presenter through your Showtime? So now let's have a quick overview as what you view as a presenter. So that's how your Showtime screen looks like. And as a trainer running the session, you can enable or disable audio and video by clicking the microphone or the video icon. And yeah, you can also you can share the screen as well. So practice first. As we all know, practice makes a man perfect. Ensure you have a practice session before going on live with the same computer system. So that helps you to gain more confidence with the system, and you can also make more interactive session while you're doing your training. Then always check with your audience, make sure your trainees, your participants can see your presentation clearly, and check if your voice is audible for everyone. If you think they might have some issues with the webinar, please reassure them that you will send out a recorded webinar shortly through email the next day. So let's have a quick overview of your Showtime. So that's a Showtime screen. Oh, anyway, my little Tom is there. You can view a completed slides, or the screen can be shared. You can request, as I'm trying to say here is your audience can request for mic access to voice their opinion. You can share materials. You can switch off the camera or switch on the camera. You can send out handouts as well. You can record these sessions, and you can, as you see in this side, you can invite in the middle of your session as well. And you can your audience can raise questions and make it more interactive. You can start answering them. You can do polls, which helps provide ratings or feedback about your sessions. As I said before, handouts can be given out while during your live session. So at the end of the screen, you will see here, Showtime allows you to broadcast your voice, video, and slide screen, as I said before, to your attendees across the globe. I know at this time of crisis, I do understand that we have a scattered team across the global. Showtime screen share your screen features. It is beneficial to share an idea or plan a project over the web. You will be able to add new materials to your training during the live session, and by picking, you can pick it up from your library or from your desktop. You can upload it easily. This is the easiest way to collaborate virtually with your remote participants. Grant access. So to make your training more conversation by giving your learners the power to contribute to your session, this feature is especially useful for remote learning, where trainers need to stay connected with their audience who they can't see directly. When an attendee requests to talk by clicking the mic, as you can see here, grant mic access on the left-hand panel. As a trainer, you can approve, mute, deny, or revoke their request to talk, and only one attendee can speak at a time. Then you would see questions, as you can see here, again on the left panel. So during the screen share, you can also run polls, as I said before, to evaluate attendees' knowledge and ask them to send questions. So this would be very useful for live chat to interact with your attendees. And at the end of the session, you can just let them know your answers as well. This will help to measure how well things worked very well with your audience. And you can also have a look at your Showtime engagement analytics, which I will be talking at the end of the session. Answer question tab. So in this one, you can decide which questions are relevant to your session, answer, and broadcast. You can broadcast to your attendees as well. So all you've got to do is click on the project button to display the question. Once you have displayed and answered the question, this unanswered question will move into answer session. Attendees will see the questions you've chosen to display, and they can also upvote or downvote them. So this is the most, I like this feature personally, which is the whiteboard in Showtime, to make your training session more, I would say, more interactive, more clearer. This would help you to explain your training team. More complex problems can be simplified. You can emphasize on more important points during the live session. You do have text boxes and pens as well. So it's typically like a classroom setup, I would say. So, but make sure that your participants will be only able to see if you actually share the screen to them. Right, and mind your questions. So the reason why I put this slide is we all get carried away when we are presenting to the to our participants, but always make sure that you answer, you check your question and answer window periodically. In fact, that is very good to have. It is also good to have a co-trainer in your live session. So this makes work easy, and someone can actually constantly at the background can answer every doubts you have or your audience have. Now, poll tips. So Zoho Showtime can, you can do live audience polls can be conducted. This, as I said before, it makes your session more engaging, interactive, more interesting, where you'll be able to understand the pulse of your participants. You might get instant replies, and you can give instant tips as well. So this would be a very good platform to transform your online lessons or any training sessions into a conversational one. So what do we do after the training? So once you have completed your training session, you can measure your trainer engagement, as well as you can actually value your own performance to see what worked and what did not work. So that's what Zoho Showtime has this tool called Analytics. So after the end of the session, you can pop into the analytics under session, you can pop into the analytics. This will be very beneficial for data visualization about how your attendees responded to your session. It includes like likes, ratings, attendee questions, and poll answers, etc. So as you can see here, how many percentage of outstanding engagement you had, how long they've been in your, they've been attending your training session, the session's length, and then if you can actually download these analytics here, this will be turned into a sheet file. As I said before, analytics, this includes, it helps you to measure the training impact using data on engagement levels, poll results, and other feedback. You can see the number of registrations, attendees, session length, every chat and questions, responses, feedback can be given, evaluation can be done, the number of slides you have presented, and which slide they have actually liked and they have doubts on. So all these analytics can be viewed in your analytics tab. Next, jumping into post-event resources. First off, take a deep breath. You've made it. Of course, the hardest part of your training is over, presenting to your participants, which is the best part. And to see, who is the most engaged, and also you will have an idea of who you should prioritize your time in the next step. I think it is important to edit your post-event email and then send them out, your slide deck, and also share the next few steps you're going to take after you've completed your training session. You can either send them a thank you email, friendly reminders, you can send out a survey or feedback, or you can also share any educational relevant content, and many more can be done. So for more resources, we have this Showtime Health Center. There's quite a lot of blogs, recorded webinars, forums. We also have a support team as well. So if you have any questions, you can actually pop into our website. To learn more, I've just given 3 of these important links. The first one is the help videos to begin your Showtime. And the others, we have done quite a few recorded versions webinars in the past, as well as we have this help website. So personally, we at Zoho think video channels are one of the best ways to connect with our users, especially in this time. So we recently started a working remotely series where we talk to customers like you to know more about your work experience, and then you can share your tips, your tricks to this whole world. So if you like to talk about some of these best practices for remote working over a video call, please leave your email address in the chat box. Our video log team will connect to you shortly. So that brings us to the end of our webinar today. Please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team at support@zohoremotely.com for any other inquiries, or if you can also email me and John as well if you would like to know any specific features about Showtime. And at the end of the session, as I said before, we will be online. We'll be answering each of your questions in the chat box. Yeah, anyway, thank you. Great. We appreciate you being here. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay remotely. Thank you.